Hey, how are you? May I just say that I think that I think you look delicious. Evil Within came out last year, and it was an interesting movie. It was actually quite a surprise. You know, it came out, and one thing to note, which I didn't know until I went to watch it, was that it is not in English. It is in Espanol. And I didn't know that until I started the movie and started talking, and I was like, what? But it didn't bother me, you know. I just put the subtitles on. I still really enjoyed it. So it was fun in that sense. But that's just to note for if you're thinking about watching this movie, just realize it's subtitled in English. It's not an English movie. And honestly, I watched it for the first time recently, a couple of days ago or last week, and I was surprised by how cool it was, how good it was. You know, I wasn't expecting that much, even though I heard a lot about it. I wasn't expecting very much, So it basically starts off with two brothers that wake up to the sound of gunfire, and they go to look and try and figure out where the fuck the gunfire came from. Who's shooting, this close to our home. And as they go out on a hunt, they get some gear, they bring their guns and shit, as you do. Like, I know when I go to get a pint of milk or whatever, or a liter of milk, I always bring my rifle with me, You just never know. Anyway, so they find a body, and it's just literally the bottom of the body. There's no torso at all. And they're like trying to figure out what the fuck happened here. What happened to him? Bad Friday night? What? So like trying to figure out, and they're looking, they're saying, it's cut with something sharp. An animal couldn't have done this. And it ignites this mystery throughout the movie. And it's basically, it's one of those movies that you sort of have to pay attention. Like, you can't get up, go to the bathroom, and come back and, expect to understand what's going on. You sort of have to be there to read and listen to everything in order to understand. Otherwise you're just gonna be like, what's going on? I don't get it. How was that? What? So it's one of the movies you really have to pay attention to. And there are some really shocking ass scenes in this movie. The most controversial and the most talked about is obviously the little girl, Vicky, I believe her name is. The guy, one of the brothers he goes to his wife, and she's with her partner and their kids, the brother and her kids, but she has a new partner. And she's trying to convince him, listen, you gotta come with me. Something's wrong. It's the rotten, which is a term they call for what the evil, sort of a vessel for evil is called the rotten. And they find that with this, what do you call him, Uriel. And he's like really bloated, and he's like rotted, and he barely looks human anymore. So like, they say like, we can't kill him. If you kill him, you'll condemn us. And so they don't kill him, but they take him far away. So they put him in the back of a jeep for some great logic, and they drive his ass miles and miles out of town, only to realize they lost his ass. He'd jump on the back and go, look, let's get him. He's gone. How do you lose someone that fucking big? I mean, right, there's the Jeep, right? Now, you put something heavy in the back of it, anything, right? Physics goes like that, right? So if that thing comes off it, it goes up like that. So how did they not notice him falling off like that? the things that got just bugged me. Maybe I'm only nitpicking, but that's just me. But so they get worked up, and anyway, I went the long way around, didn't I? Here, guy goes to his wife and his partner and family, and he wants to get them all out of there because he knows it's cursed now. He knows they fucked up, and the little girl Vicky, the little daughter, she's by the dog. There's like a big ass dog, and she's like dancing around. She has like her hand on top of her tail like that, and it's like going around in circles around him. And then just out of nowhere, like just randomly, the dog just bites her face, like her whole head. And I remember watching it like, holy shit, I had a feeling something was going to happen, but I didn't know what. And I was like, what? Is the little girl going to do something to the dog? Or is she going to snap his neck? Or but I wasn't expecting that. Like, I was like, holy shit. And so that happens. Nobody even fucking realizes it's happened until the little boy runs down and says to the dad, Dad, the fucking dog did some nasty shit. Look, Dad, look, Well, he didn't say that, but you know what I mean. And they all freak out, and the dog, even a gnarly ass fucking scene where like the stepdad looks under the table and the dog has the kid by the neck and he's like shaking it, which is pretty shocking, like alone, and pretty gnarly. So the dog runs off with her in his mouth. That's a strong dog. Runs off, and so they're all freaking out. The wife is gone mental, and rightfully so. That's any mother's instinct. Of course. So yeah, they're just freaking out. Search for the dog, and eventually they later on find the dog, but dead. And they don't really explain how the dog died. Well, no. Sorry, didn't the stepdad kill the dog? He shot him? That's right, yeah. See, the whole thing is, if you kill whoever's possessed by the evil, and you kill it, it'll pass on to the next person, and the next person. It's like a plague, it just latches on every time. And that's one shocking scene. And I remember there was another scene where a guy goes out in the farm, and there's a goat, like a dark, like a blackish goat, and it's like meant to be a symbolism for like evil or the devil or whatever. And the guy like he shoots up and gets all the other sheep run away except this one. And it's a really badass scene, even though like it's not really that big, but the goat slowly walks up to his gun like until it's like that. And his wife is behind him, telling him not to shoot us. Again, like, you kill him, you're going to condemn us all. Don't. And she's begging him, and he kills the goat. And literally 3 seconds later, his wife from behind sticks an axe in his head. And there's a lesson here, man. Listen to the wife. You don't want to get an axe to the back of your head. Trust me. Anyway. So, that happened. And then you get the scene, which is pretty much probably mostly on the cover for this movie, which she goes on her knees, she has the axe facing this way, and she starts axing herself, like just fucking kills herself, and it's pretty gnarly. And what the whole thing, there's this whole mystery of like, the people are also disappearing as well, like, and so they figure it out later on that the son, one of the brothers, has a son who is autistic, and there's later on we figure out that, oh, should I have said, no, never mind, I was going to say spoilers, but you know what, I'll put that in the title, so don't worry about it. Anyway, so later on we figure out that one of the rotten, the demon, whatever, has jumped into the autistic kid's body and is having trouble seeing, like having trouble like maneuvering and controlling because of the son's unfortunate condition. So I really thought that was an interesting concept because I've never heard anything like that before, like in that sort of scenario or criteria. I thought that was fascinating. So, but it eventually does, it eventually gains control. And yeah, I mean, this movie is definitely something totally worth watching. It's got some genuinely shocking ass scenes and just gnarly overall. It's just shocking, but it is a good time though. I get it, not everybody is into sitting and nobody wants to sit there and read subtitles for an hour and 30 minutes. Personally, I think it is worth it because I think it's a great movie. But, again, we get the shocking scene at the end of it, which figures out how the movie ends, which I like when the movie ends on a bad note because it's ballsy. I do like that. It's not this whole good triumphs over evil, the end. It's been done to fucking death, man. So it's good that we get some bad endings. It's more realistic too. It's not a fucking fairy tale. Good beats evil, and the world is great. The sun suddenly appears in the sky and... no. So it's good to have those scenes. And so we figure out that the autistic kid, while possessed, basically eats his grandmother, the brother's mum. And yeah. And there's even a gnarly ass scene where his wife, his ex-wife, is carrying their son, who stole the son earlier on, I forgot to say. And you just see her walking down the street, just fucking chewing him, like she's eating a bag of fucking crisps or something, just, ripping him off, chewing away, and... what the fuck? So then the brother, of course, rams into her, kills her. Now, that left something which I didn't really like, because there was no, okay, his other brother killed his ex-wife, who was already killing and eating their son. You didn't get a scene where the brother told his other brother that your ex-wife's dead and so is your son. I'm sorry. You just get the scene at the end whenever they finally re-meet at the ending of the movie. They don't speak, they just hug. And that's it. And then the guy goes in, figures out that you get that sick-ass scene where the kid's there with blood and he pulls his grandmother's hair out of his mouth and it's fucked up. And, but you don't get a scene where he's told about his ex-wife or his son, which I thought I wasn't really happy about that, but it is what it is, So the movie ends pretty much like that. So, and also there's a scene in the school. I'm just throwing thoughts out as I'm going along here. He's in the school and he finds Uriel, the big mutated geezer, and they have a medium, a spiritual medium or something like that, a spiritualistic lady. And she tells him, don't kill him, no matter what he tells you, don't kill him, and don't use electric fucking lights either. Fuck that shit. But eventually he gets wound up, and he does kill him, and then all the kids kill her, beat her with a hammer. This is a rotten way to go. And drag her ass off, and then the kid is reborn after being killed. So, killed and then reborn with blood, and puts blood on the top of the guy's head, which basically I'm assuming symbolically means you're marked. So it does that, leaves, which symbolism, reborn, whatever, But yeah, overall, the movie is definitely worth a watch. If I were to score it out of 10, I would have to give it probably 7 out of 10. Like I said, there's things that annoyed me, like the brother not telling him about his ex-wife and his kid. Things that realistically you would tell him. That's the first thing before you hug. You say, no, stop, listen, I have to tell you something. Before and then hug afterwards. But that part, and that bothered me. But overall, the rest of the movie was good. I liked what they were going for. It was different. It was, totally worth a watch. If you have the patience to sit and read subtitles, honestly, I'd say go for it, because it is worth a watch. And the acting is genuinely good. So, yeah, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And if you think I've earned it, please like, subscribe, and yeah, let me know in the comments below what you thought of the movie. Did you enjoy it? And what was your favourite part? So, yeah, can't wait to read. Thanks for watching, I really appreciate it, and I appreciate you, all of you, humbly. Thanks for watching, and don't kill anyone.